Hey everyone, welcome back to East Vineland, New Jersey and Kubota Farm. Just saying hello to our new ladies on the farm and gentlemen. I don't know where the gentlemen are. What's up, girl? They're around here somewhere. Hey, dude. That's not a dude, that's a lady as well. I don't know where our roosters. Oh, what's this guy? No. Maybe they're hiding out. Anyways, so we are back taking a look at our chickens, and I think I did a spoiler alert on the last one. I could have probably looked at this, big sign right here that shows cracked corn. I think that's a symbol for cracked corn. Honestly, I don't know. I would have looked at that and just been like corn maybe, but anyways, that is the missing ingredient that we have for our chickens. Come to find out that the base food here is indeed cracked corn. So if we can get some sunflowers, cracked corn, and grain, we'll have a nice blend. But the game is telling us that we are in the green for effectiveness. So apparently, I don't know. I take that as it doesn't require a 60-20-20 blend. Otherwise, we wouldn't have green, right? At least that's my assumption. Because if we look at our pigs, effectiveness is not green, obviously, because we don't have any base food for them. We probably don't have enough grain for them. We've got plenty of root crop, and protein might be close, and not enough protein. So chickens, guess it doesn't really matter. And then of course our sheep, well, they're just happy. They're just happy eating grass. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. So that's where we are with our animals. We're still in January. And if you were ever asking yourself, self, can you ever have too much grass? I'm here to tell you, you can have too much grass. We're still a grass county. I don't know if the game's ever going to work this out or not. I have a feeling it might. If I actually removed either the mod or whatever was causing this problem, if that problem is gone, it probably will work itself out. And I'm guessing it'll work itself out over harvest season into fall as we turn the corner into the next year. Yeah, it'll probably work its way out. But until then, we are probably going to have a lot of grass baling contracts. None at the moment because it's time of the year, but we will certainly be introduced to some baling contracts. I'm quite certain of that. Back to our sheep, still producing good wool for us. Let's run over. So we're getting a pretty good stockpile of wool. I have no idea what the money situation is going to look like taking this wool in, but we are about 3 months away from our wool sale, so I'm looking forward to that to see what kind of cash we can get in. So yeah, last episode we did buy land as well. We bought chickens, but we also bought land, and we bought this land up here, number 1, field number 1. Let's just run up here and take a look at our newly acquired field. Oh, surprise! It's got grass, and it's ready to harvest. Actually, that's not the worst news in the world because we really do need grass for our sheep. They are going, man, they're going through grass. I wonder if we should grab the big Kubota mower and let's get to mowing. Over here, where is that field? Where is that field? I always run into it, but now I can't run into it when I want to. I run into it when I don't want to. I think I went too far. It's a field, it's our solar panel field. Ah, here we go. The solar panel field. Now this field, I don't really think much about. We don't own it. But how much? Wow, $419,000. Ooh, almost $1 million for all the woodlands around it too. Wow. But $419,000 for this solar panel field. I wonder how much this brings in a month. I would be curious because that... Oh, hello, little tree. Little tree that needs to be cut down. What are you doing here? It's a little bit... It's kind of weird, right? That little tree just there? Huh. I wonder how much money... Oh, there's another little one over here, too. I wonder how much money this solar field will bring in for us. Because that might be a reasonable thing to consider. I mean, it is monthly income that you don't work for. Yeah, we might have to consider that. Did I see something? Oh, I can't go back there. Thought I might have noticed something, maybe a little toy or something over there, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Well, let's pull out the old Kubota mower. We're gonna go with the big mower, not the little guy, because we want to make some. We want to make some work, as little work out of this as possible. Let's jump out for a second. Let's just take a look at the maintenance on this thing real quick. I think I've kept it up. Yeah, we're good on maintenance. We're good on gas. Hope everybody's having a good week. Wednesday, midweek, hump day. Yay. Ever so close to the weekend. It's fantastic. There are some weird things on YouTube, right? I mean, there's some weird things on YouTube. Like, weird, just weird. There's weird funny. There's weird, I never knew that. And I've been getting kind of into this, oh boy, I don't know, is it Titanic kick lately. So I've been watching more and more. Let's make sure we've got swathing. Swath dropping. Yes, thank you very much. Kind of weird, but I've just been kind of... Pick the front there, Brad. There you go. Fire it up. Place her down. I should probably set up the GPS, shouldn't I? That would be handy. We should do that. Let's lower the rear. Oh, no, that lowered. I always forget to change. No, 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 no. You're going the wrong way. There you go. I always forget to change the implement. Yeah, I love the sound that makes when she gets all fired up. Let's turn on our GPS. We might as well. We have it. And did I also disable lines? I must have disabled the lines. That actually looks pretty good. Let's just do this. We'll mow and talk. But yeah, I've been kind of getting back into, you know, watching some stuff about the Titanic. Kind of one of those deals where it seems like, excuse me, you can almost, you get enough of it, you know, right? I mean, you know what happened ultimately. You kind of get saturated with information, I guess is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now. With it, I think I've kind of got the gist of it. It's interesting to me, though, that there is still some... there's still some... Hey, I lowered the back, man. Oh, I turned the back off. There we go. I get that. There's still some little bit of controversy here and there about certain things. More about people than there is, I think, about how it sank and stuff like that. Kind of a shame that it's disappearing. And that one day, you know, they're not going to be able to study it or do anything, send anything else down there. And I don't know what else you can, I don't know what other point or purpose you would have for going down there at this point. It's kind of a, excuse me, it's kind of a done deal. I think they've gotten all the artifacts. I did not know that they had this huge section from it, though, that they had lifted up. I don't think I knew that, because I was watching this one video where they were showing, the guy was actually doing a really cool job of describing and showing like where that front section came from. Trying to talk and work at the same time, and apparently I am just not capable of doing that. But yeah, it's like a 30-foot section, like 30 foot by 15. Like, it's pretty big. And it's from the outside towards the back, I think, the back part of it. Not far back, but towards the back. And it's kind of cool to see that up and out of there, but I can only imagine, you know, just how crazy it must have been to witness that, you know, in person. Just terrifying. There's certain things, I don't know, I get freaked out about. Like, I get freaked out about things that things underwater freak me out. I've always been that way. I've always been like, even in a pool, I see the drain down at the bottom of the deep end, and that creeps me out. I don't know what it is. There's just deep water, things that are down there. It's like, I don't know. And it doesn't even have to be the ocean. It can just be, like I said, you know, it can be a pool or a lake. It doesn't really matter what it is. And I watch these videos of them putting down transatlantic cabling, you know, for internet and telephone and all this stuff, for communication lines. And that creeps me out. It creeps me out just watching that wire, just thinking of that wire sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor. That creeps me out too. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think that would probably be one of the most terrifying things for me, though, is to be lost at sea. In a raft, I could somewhat deal with it, but just in the water, knowing like the depth that's beneath me, knowing that I can't see what's under me, wow, oh boy, I would have to have a very, very strong desire to live to maintain my sanity in a situation like that. There's no question about it. It just creeps me out. Absolutely creeps me out. And it never used to bother me when I was a kid. I'd go, whatever, you know, swimming in the lily pads, you know. That right there, I could never do again, ever. I could never do that. But when I was a kid, it didn't matter. You know, I didn't care. You know, throw me off the boat in this, you know, into a thick patch of lily pads. Well, that's kind of fun. But right now, I would lose my mind. I would freak out and lose my mind. I don't even like, I'm not even sure how I deal with, like, bathtubs are okay. Bathtubs are okay. I can deal with a bathtub. But, yeah. And, you know, whirlpools, like hot tubs, when the bubbles are all going and whatnot, you can't really see the bottom. Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't care for that. Not a fan anymore of stuff like that. And it's kind of weird because I feel like, you know, the older I've gotten, the more, like, I'll eat more foods. I'm not afraid of any foods anymore. I'd probably try just about anything unless it's ridiculously nasty. But But there's some things that I just can't see myself doing anymore. And that, like, I don't even, the beach, I can somewhat handle going to the beach and swimming at a beach if it's a sandy beach. And it's like they've actually pushed the sand out and made it a very nice swimming environment. So I'm not stepping on anything weird. But the second I step on something that doesn't feel like sand, you know, it's some kind of a weird slime thing, or it's got some possible maybe it's a mollusk of some kind. No, just not doing it. I got bit in the nipple one time by a fish. And hold on a second, sorry. I don't know why I told you that, but it's true though. And I'll tell you, I think that was the beginning of it. I think that might have been the beginning of my fear. Yeah, I think so. I think that might have been the beginning. I'm gonna turn these lights off just because they're kind of bugging me. It's been the beginning of my fear of swimming in an open body of water. And it wasn't even a hard bite. It was just a little nip. Like, it was probably a little bluegill. It might have been a little sunfish. I don't know. But it bit my nipple. And, oh, Brad, what are you doing, man? I'm turning everything off, folding things. I'm just not, yeah, I'm not doing well here. And, yeah, lock and load, baby. Let me get everything fired up again. I got things folded up that shouldn't be. There we go. Lower. Turn on. Alright. And it didn't like leave a scar. It didn't make me bleed or anything. But you got bit on the nipple. You know, newsflash. That's not good. You know, and I couldn't, and I never found out what bit me. You know. I mean, obviously it was a fish, you know. Well, I think it was. Hopefully it wasn't like some... And that's... Oh, turtles, too. Forget about it. Yeah, I had an experience, really bad experience one time with a turtle in water. And I don't think that helped me at all. I thought the turtle was like... I remember we were looking for shells and stuff. And I think... And, you know, I was like kicking around... with my bare feet, thinking, and I think you know, oh, there's a shell, you know, and it wasn't. It was a turtle, and I'll tell you, I freaked out. Yeah, I lost my mind. So I have no idea why we're talking about this. Honestly, this is just, I have no idea. It's, you know. We're mowing in snow, so I guess we can do pretty much anything we want to. Speaking of mowing in snow, you know how the game penalizes you, or maybe for our Canadian or British viewers, penalizes you for harvesting in the rain. I think it also penalizes you for harvesting in snow. Are we getting penalized right now? Are we getting less grass yield for doing this in the snow? And the game is supposed to put up a message. Hey, you know, you're not supposed to harvest when it's raining or when it's snowing or whatever. But it didn't do that to me one time until like midway through the field. Then it told me that I was being silly. And it was too late because I already lost, you know, like almost like, I don't know, it's a nasty penalty that you take for harvesting in incorrect conditions. All right, let's scooch around here. I think we can. I don't know if the game's gonna yell at me for this or not, but we're gonna try it anyways. Let's lower the front, go to the back, lower the back. Let's see if we can Ah, yeah, it's not going to yell at me. I was thinking, this is not your land. But I guess we own enough of this land here that we can take advantage of this grass that's alongside of it. We might as well. The sheep will be happy that we are going out of our way to make sure that they are well fed. Of course, they in turn, you know, take care of us with the wool, so that's kind of nice of them, I think. I think it's a good trade-off. We feed them. They give us wool. Whoa, major pause. Woo! That froze up my steering wheel. I don't know what that's all about. Didn't like that over there for some reason. Every once in a while, not very often, but every once in a while, I get one of those. And it's usually when I have things going on, you know, like the way, you know, implements folding or just something, I don't know, something the game or something doesn't like something. Pretty out here in East Vineland. I don't remember, we did get some snow last winter, didn't we here? That's right, because I ended up getting that blade for the pickup truck, but the snow all went away, so we never got to use it. Windshield wiper going. I remember when windshield wipers weren't part of the base game, and how cool it was to get mods that let you turn on the windshield wiper. I don't remember if the mods let you turn it on or if it was an automatic thing. It might have been an automatic thing. I think it was. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do remember that was one benefit to some of the tractor mods, was you got working wipers. We could go wash this thing, but I'm feeling a little bit lazy at the moment. Let's check our repairs. I like keeping up on these things just in case I always do this because I say, oh, just in case I forget. But I usually check before I run them again, so I guess I really never kind of forget. But Mr. M5, no, I love you, but we need something. I want something a little bit more. Yeah, the other M8, that's what we want. Let's grab this guy and pick up our forage container bucket thingy. And let's go grab a load or two for the sheep, because we're probably going to end up fast forwarding at least 2 months, maybe 3, into the wool sale month, because we just don't have a lot more to do around here other than watching the crops grow and keeping the animals fed. That's pretty much our work right now. I don't want to forget about, and I just thought of this, I'll try not to forget about our production facility. All right, so we're doing okay. So we got barley. When did I start that? Has it been this month? Is this the month? Maybe? Yeah. Must have been January. I thought we started that thing last month. Maybe not. All right, let's lower it. Let's turn it on. I believe that's all we need to do. And we should start seeing, yeah. Oh, I forgot this thing's a tad of, boy, does that seem slow, doesn't it? After getting after doing the mowing, and you bring this thing out at 6 miles an hour, it seems just deathly slow. Yeah, it seems really slow. Kicking up the dust, though. Get back inside where it's a little bit warmer. January snow. It does make me a tad curious. What? Okay, 39. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit for January. That's a little warm. Snow should not be sticking on the ground then. I always like seeing what the game thinks temperature conditions should be this time of year. Depending on the map. Buchern was a really pretty map in the wintertime. I quite liked Buchern in the winter. That had a really nice snow. Had really nice snowfall to it. Looked really pretty with all the trees and stuff. And I don't remember East Vineland having too much snow last time, though. It seems like we got a little bit of a dusting, and it didn't stay around very long, if I remember correctly. I might be getting my maps messed around. Oh, and if you do watch, or if you have watched, me play on Silver Run Forest, I actually finally found that last boulder for that contract I was doing. I was watching some content, I forget who it was, on YouTube, and they were doing a boulder contract as well, and he made a comment. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is like my third boulder contract, and since I'm doing this in the winter, there was no snow on the ground, but the trees had, were kind of more barren looking." He's like, I can find the rocks a lot easier. And a little light bulb went on inside my head and was like, oh, that's what I need to stinking do. So I went back into Silver Run Forest, kind of cheaty, a little cheaty, and I used the easy dev controls. Excuse me, I got a little whine to my throat. It's kind of bugging me. A little hair in the throat. So I used the easy dev controls to fast forward the map. All right, let's go run this over to our sheep. To fast forward the map into winter, and then I walked around, and sure enough, I could find the stinking boulder that was hiding from me. Yeah, Giants doesn't always play fair with their boulder contracts. I guess they feel like they have to do something to kind of make them a little bit more challenging. We can cut through here, can't we? And it was buried in some bushes and close to a couple trees, so I can kind of see why I wasn't able to locate the rock as easy. But I like doing the contracts on there. I prefer the deadwood contracts. I think it's fun running around with a chainsaw and chopping down dead trees. That to me is pretty entertaining. The boulder contracts, I can kind of take them or leave them, if I'm being honest. But the deadwood stuff, I like that. I quite enjoy those. All right, sheep, dinner is here, and I like this thing because it doesn't have to lift up and it doesn't start janking up on the roof there like the trailer does. It kind of makes it kind of nice. Oh, yeah. You can hear the sheep. They're like, yeah, buddy. Bring it. Bring it. Yeah. Nice. All right, let's get out of here. So it's kind of crazy. We are on the home stretch for the year. It feels really weird to think about that we are less than a month away from 2023. It feels like the year went pretty quick. I feel like the year went pretty quick, faster than the than the year before, and I think it's nice to have this COVID stuff starting to find its way to the back of the news instead of constantly at the front of the news. And not to get, I know I love when people say this too, not to get political, but honestly, not to get political, but yet I'll be curious to see. I'm of the opinion fear sells news, and the news organizations that are out there predominantly boy, I didn't do a good job backing that up at all. Predominantly love to, in my opinion, top, headline fearful things, get people stirred up and stuff like that. And so I'm curious to see how long it will be before they come up with something else that has us all, all worried about something. Who knows? There was some funny news though. If you have a chance to check this out, I think it's a couple days old. I just saw it today though. Have you seen the story about the guy that fell off the cruise ship and was treading water for like 20 hours before the Coast Guard finally located him? And that part's not the funny part, even though it kind of is. But how do you fall off a cruise ship? I mean, no, seriously though, how do you do that? Like I figure you can jump, but it's not like it's not like the rails are up to your knees. They have like legit rails. They know that kids are on these boats. It would take some effort, right? And I know that there's people that do stupid things like taking selfies while they're standing on the top rail. I mean, if you're going to do stuff like that, just let me push you, because then you just deserve it. But this guy, what's funny about this story is he is just the way he tells the story and just his mannerisms. And I don't want to say too much more because I don't want, let's just say the southern accent and just his style of talking and how he tells the story. You can watch the lady that's interviewing him. It's that Eva Pilgrim, I think her name is Eva Pilgrim. I think she's on ABC News. I never watch ABC News, but this was just a YouTube thing. And it caught my eye because it was like, man falls off cruise ship and treads water for 20 hours. And I'm like, what? Sure enough, it is hilarious. I was busting laughing listening to this guy tell his story. It's a classic, and you really need to check it out. Just do a search for "man falls off cruise ship." It's just, she's asking him questions, and you can watch her face. I am not a fan of media. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Not media like forms of media, like music and vinyl and tape. No. The media. The media. I am not a fan of really any of them, mostly. I think that they do horrible. I think they're a horrible job. I think they do a horrible job. Half of them can't spell. It's ridiculous. But anyways, that's a tangent we need to save for another day here on the farm. But she made this interview so good for me too, because you could just tell by her facial expressions that she wanted to laugh, bust out laughing, I think several times, and she was trying not to because obviously the guy, I mean, this was a life and death situation. The guy easily could have died. In fact, the odds were against him for surviving, without a doubt. This is in the Gulf of Mexico. 20 hours. He lost 20 pounds, they said. 20 pounds. And let alone the fact that the guy could tread water, but that they even found him. You always hear about how difficult it is to find people, and they said the search area was huge because they didn't really know when he fell. You know, in fact, the family, the it just cracks me up. The family didn't know he was missing for like 12 hours. He had just he had just won. He had just won an air guitar contest. Sorry. It's just hilarious to me. He had just won an air guitar contest, and they had video of him. They had video of him in the air guitar contest. And he had won the air guitar contest. And I guess he doesn't remember. Here's the thing. He doesn't remember how he fell. He doesn't even remember hitting the water. He said the next thing that he knew, the last thing he remembered was being on deck, I think, or something like that. And then the next thing he knew, he was in the ocean. So at some point, you know, he actually went in the water unconscious, more or less, or when he hit the water, it probably knocked him out. I don't know. He didn't drown, which is a miracle. And he woke up, he said he was in the water, and he treaded water for 20 hours. He said that he said that a piece of wood, like driftwood, went by him, and he grabbed that and he gnawed on that for a while. And he said now it didn't taste great, but it put a taste of something in his mouth that I guess was inspirational. I don't know. Just the whole thing is, you know, you're just so glad the guy's alive and he didn't die. But the way he tells the story, you know, and you know, she, you know, were you drinking? And it's just, there's just so much. It's just fantastic. It really is, and it's just fantastic. And it was on the first day of the cruise too. You could see how disappointed he was. It's almost like it's almost like he was, you know, clearly he was thankful to be alive, and clearly he had been through, you know, an amazing ordeal. But you could tell how disappointed he was that it happened on the first day of the cruise, and he doesn't think he'll ever be able to take another cruise because probably because, you know, they're not cheap. That's my guess, you know, and because she asked him, you know, well, do you think you would ever take another cruise, you know, or do you think you'd be too afraid? And he's like, oh no, you know, he'd go on another cruise. He said he wouldn't get within 10 feet of the rail. But the problem with this whole thing is he still has no idea how he got in the ocean. And doesn't that sound super sketchy? Like, you mean to tell me that nobody saw what... Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Like, nobody saw him fall. Aren't these cruise ships usually quite full? Like, usually there's a lot of people, and I know these boats are huge, but... Let me turn this thing off here. That'll help us. I know these boats are massive, but there's usually a lot of people, and it amazes me. Hold on a second. This isn't... Oh man, I got freaked out for a second. Just for a brief moment, it almost looked like we had grass again on this field. I was going to lose my mind. Right? I mean, there's a lot of people on these, and what doesn't get caught on video? They got his air guitar performance on video. Why? Right? How can you have a recording of the guy doing an air guitar contest, but you don't have him falling off the boat? And aren't there like video cameras, like security? This seems weird, like something wrong, like something weird, you know? Like it almost makes me think that it's gonna come out that this was a bet. You know? He's drinking with his buddies, maybe even his family, and little Billy Joe says to him, he probably says something like, "Y'all know I can tread water for 48 hours, right?" And his girlfriend or his wife is probably like, "You shut up! You can't even swim, let alone tread water." And then his little brother probably made a comment like, "Yeah, even if you could tread water, you'd be too chicken to do it." And you know where the story's going, right? And then he's like, "You know what? Fine." And he left the air guitar contest before he found out if he won or not. Went up to the rail and took a dive. I think that's where the story's gonna go. Because it's just too weird. There's I don't know. I'm finding it hard to believe that he doesn't remember falling in, which I guess that's kind of possible, because I guess if you hit the water again, it knocked you out. But to not know, I mean, it's a little sketchy. I think it's going to be a drinking bet, and it's either going to be his. I think he was there. It was a little unclear who he was there with, if it was his family or friends or both or whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a great tale though, and you really need to check it out if you haven't yet. I got a huge kick out of it, and I really enjoyed watching Eva, the 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 reporter, asking her questions, because you can just look at her mouth and you can just see this sideways kind of smile there when she's just waiting for answers for questions, and she's so nice to him. And you can tell he's the kind of guy that you just want to be nice to. He just seems like a genuinely nice guy. Um, the last thing on this, and then we got to go. If you've ever seen on Saturday Night Live when they do the alien abduction series, where they've got the three people there and they're being interviewed by the government about being abducted by aliens. If you haven't seen those, they are hilarious. But there's one where one of the guys, it's a guest star, and I can't remember his name offhand. Um, he's one of the three people that got abducted, and oh my gosh, if you listen to the guy that fell off the boat, if you listen to him talk, and you listen to this actor on that SNL skit, it like immediately rang true to me, and I thought, man, this guy would be perfect. If he gets abducted by aliens, I would totally believe it. I would totally believe it. But it's a great skit on SNL. They did like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. I think one of them may not have been an abduction. I think one of them was, well, they were all abductions. Most of them were aliens, but I think they also did angel abductions, um, or near-death experience or something like that. But they are really funny. All right, I gotta go. It's getting late. I get even more giddy when it's this late, and I'm just gonna start laughing about stuff that's probably shouldn't be. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for joining me again here on Kubota Farm. Sorry I went a bit long. I think this is a little bit longer episode, but I don't know. I started that story just came to mind, and I wanted to talk about it. So y'all take care of yourselves, and when we get back here next time, I'll have this grass finished up, and we'll probably be fast forwarding through this. Snow really nice here in East Vineland. I like the snow here. Maybe we'll get a few inches of snow and get a snowman going or something. But y'all take care of yourselves. Make sure we take care of each other. That's most important. Don't push your buddy off of a cruise ship. That's the last thing you ever want to do. And hopefully I'll see you back here Thursday morning back on the farm. And then, of course, Throwback Thursday's coming up as well. Huge news, by the way, on the old family farm. You're not going to want to miss Throwback Thursday. Yeah, huge news. Huge news. So hopefully I'll see you there. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if, I guess if you want. Flip a coin. And I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.